Hello everyone, back tuning into today's video. We're going to have a look at the weather next 8 to 10 days in today's video, which takes us into the first week of December, around the 9th of December. So it looks like we're going to be staying unsettled through the rest of this week and probably staying unsettled into next week. You may get a bit of a build of high pressure from the south, but overall winds are staying off the Atlantic, so it's going to be pretty mild. And I think we're also going to be looking at some bands of rain coming through as well, so nothing particularly cold showing up in the next 8 to 10 days. There are a few hints that around middle December, the middle part of the month, we might get something a bit cold. It's a very long way off, so I wouldn't want to be too confident about that at all. And certainly in the foreseeable future, which is sort of next week to 10 days, winds will be staying off the Atlantic. So before I get on with that, just to say about the ads, there's links to articles on all the pages of Gas Service. Have a browse through widgets and click through the links. If there's any articles that you're interested in, and thanks so much for doing that. There's video ads on most of the page. They open up in the content when you watch them. They'll close back up again. And the shop is open. It's been a huge success again this year. So thanks to everybody that's done their Christmas shopping at Amazon via the Amazon banners in Gav's Christmas shop. You've still got plenty of time, of course, to do your Christmas shopping. So if you've got any Christmas shopping to do at Amazon, just click the button that says Christmas shop. And then from there, click through the Amazon banners, go to Amazon directly, do your Christmas shopping. And because you're going from Gas Service to Amazon, we get a revenue fee on the things that you are purchasing. And thanks very much for doing that. So these are 500 millibar height anomaly flowcharts for the next week to 10 days. We've got the ECM WF on the top, and the GFS is on the bottom. 500 millibars, 80,000 feet is there in absolute high pressure and low pressure being moved around by a jet stream running above. Blue extrapolates to low pressure, orange and red extrapolates to high pressure. So they're both in agreement with this, that we've got a big area of above average heights, which is, of course, high pressure, sitting generally to the south of us, almost pushing over us, but generally a little bit to the south of the UK. And then we've got low pressure up to the north and through the Atlantic. They differ a little bit in the exact positioning, but it's broadly the same pattern, with the jet stream going rather like that, and again, rather like that. So we're on the mild side of the jet, more or less, and we've got westerly winds coming in off the Atlantic. It looks a pretty mild scenario, but what it does show is that the high pressure is pushing up from the south, particularly for England and Wales, probably settling things down a little bit next week. But there could be a little bit of mist and fog with that, and maybe some night frost as well. It just depends on the exact positioning of the high pressure. But overall, it is quite a mild scenario. Notice this area of above average heights right over top of the pole, though. That's quite interesting. That's a little bit indicative of just the very beginnings, perhaps, of some northern blocking. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. Now, these are the GFS temperature and precipitation ensembles for the next couple of weeks. The red line here is the 30-year temperature average. So you see we're solidly above average. Certainly for the rest of this week, the dates are on the bottom of the chart, so this is taking us into the start of next week just here. And it's above average through to then. The second half of the chart trends a little bit closer to the red line, so maybe a slight cooling trend here. And there is quite a bit of scatter as well in this second half of the chart. So there are a few members of the GFS ensemble that are turning quite cold through to the middle part of December. And as I say, it needs watching, but at this stage it's far too early to get too carried away about it. And regular precipitation spikes coming through, so we've got quite a bit of rain going on today, and we're going to have more rain coming up later this week, particularly Thursday. Looks a very wet day across England and Wales, and that goes on into the weekend. Perhaps a bit of a drying trend next week as that ridge of high pressure tries to push up from the south. But we've been through this before, because that high pressure was supposed to ridge up at the end of this week. Actually, it's just going to stay unsettled really to the end of this week and into the weekend. So whether this ridge pushing up from the south actually comes off, have to wait and see. The Atlantic is in a very buoyant phase at the moment. The temperature anomaly for the coming week from the 30th of November through to the 8th of December looks above average. Again, same story that we've had for several weeks now. It's above average from Ireland and Portugal in the far west of Europe, right over to the central part of Russia. In fact, the warmest anomalies to average are for Scandinavia and for Russia as well. But all places above average. You have to go down in towards the Middle East. There we've got some cold temperatures, but elsewhere it is mainly mild. or milder than average, of course. Even being sort of 4 or 5 degrees above average in central Russia, it's still going to be very cold. So you always have to bear in mind these are anomalies to average. The precipitation anomaly looking a bit wetter than average across most parts of the country, so quite a wet week coming up. The driest anomalies are just to the south, and particularly through France and down in Spain and Portugal. That's where we've got that ridge of high pressure. But it looks like most parts of the UK will be staying unsettled, at least for the coming week. So here's the GFS for Friday. There's an area of low pressure that could give us a real soaking across England and Wales Thursday into Friday. That pushes away, and then we bring in this very mild southwesterly wind for into next weekend. You can follow the isobars back. The air again is originating from somewhere in the tropical part of the Atlantic Ocean. So another push of very mild air coming up from the southwest over the weekend. Again, quite tight patch isobars, so it is windy. And there'll be bands of rain coming through with that as well. The situation is really maintained into the start of next week. Still, the winds are in from the southwest going through to Monday. Wettest weather probably for Scotland and Northern Ireland, trying to turn a bit drier down across the south. Going through to Tuesday, just signs of that high pressure is trying to ridge up from the south. So as we go through to day 10, we find the high pressure building up from the south. It's still in a fairly mild position, really, but it is probably close enough to us at this point. This is day 10, Thursday the 10th of December. It is probably just about close enough to us to start maybe thinking a little bit about inversions, which means that it turns colder at the surface compared to the upper air temperature. So there's the very mild upper air temperatures that we have on day 10, which is Thursday the 10th of December. But if you have a very quick look at the dew point, that sometimes gives it away. You see it is colder in terms of the dew point. It's not really cold air, but certainly it is turning a bit colder on the surface as opposed to the temperature aloft. So there could, if that high pressure does build into that position, becoming centred somewhere across Germany, it could possibly start to bring some frost and fog later on next week. But it's a very long time off. With the Atlantic so active as it is at the moment, it may not actually be able to build as far north as that. ECMWF is very similar for next week. So for Friday, again, we've got that almost stationary area of low pressure over the country. Thursday into Friday will give some very wet weather for England and Wales. That gets out of the way, and then we're into this long effect southwesterly for Saturday. Gales in the north and west with that, and a lot of heavy rain over the weekend. So another repeat of the weekend that's just gone, really. Mild, wet, windy, not going to be very pleasant. As we go through into the start of next week, this is Monday, and again still in that long effect southwesterly, so very mild, but more rain, particularly in the north and west. Low pressure coming through the country on Tuesday will bring a lot of heavy rain. And then again by day 10, Thursday the 10th of December, just the signs that that high pressure is starting to build up from the south. This is in a very mild position though. If it goes any further north than this, however, it would start to increase the risk of frost and fog, particularly at night. But at that stage, the ECMWF is still pretty mild with that southwesterly wind. So we're going to have a mild start to December. We have a very mild November. Of course, we'll know just how mild it's been tomorrow when the central temperature from Hadley updates. But it's been a very mild November. It's going on into the start of December as well. Few hints that it might start to turn a bit colder around the second or third week of the month. But overall, the first week of December looking very, very mild, and still really unsettled with bands of rain and strong winds as well. That's all for now then, and thanks for watching.